Welcome to the Ladies Lounge.
Welcome to the show. I'm your homegirl, Carmen.
And I'm your girl, Lina.
And today we are talking about love because love is in the air. It's still technically February, even though, it was, I just feel like the whole month of February should be about love because if you think about it, there's so many beautiful things or so many beautiful things about February. First off, you see a lot of the decorations still up. Like my sister's house is still fully, Valentine's Day decorated. So I feel like it's worth keeping the whole month.
Right.
And then two, it's Black History Month. There's a lot of beautiful things in the month of February. My niece was born. It's just a lot of cute things, And yeah, with that being said, I feel like we kind of skipped over Valentine's Day. We didn't really have an episode. So we're going to dedicate this one to it. And because of that, we're going to be talking about love languages. You and I have kind of touched on this actually a few times because when we discovered that it is important to know your love language while being in a relationship, we were both like, all right, you know what? Maybe we should like really, dive deep into like this subject with us and like really getting to know it. So what Angie and I did, we took a test to see what our love languages were, which at first, obviously we all kind of assume what it is, but you really don't know until you actually take the quiz. And also the fun fact about that is that you actually change. It could change, like your love language can actually change as you grow, as you get older, as you mature, as you drop some habits, as you gain some habits, so it just depends where you're at. So it's cool to take this quiz on different occasions or different parts of your life. I know Angie took it last year and then you retook it again this year, right?
I take it at least like once or twice a year. I've been doing it for the last few years because I feel like, with different experiences, I've noticed different requirements, if that makes sense. So, I had mentioned before how I was in this situation where I was dating one guy and he traveled a lot, so I didn't really get to see him, but he would always check in with me, like literally no matter where he was in the world, he would always check in with me. And I love that. And he would give me the words of affirmation, and that was something that I was really into at the time. But
was that his love language or something?
That was my love language at the time because he had a really slick mouth. So, that always helps when they have the gift of gab.
Motherfuckers always win, by the way.
So, someone who has words of affirmation as their love language, which was mine at the time, which it was my top one at the time. And then my second one was physical touch. Well, because he was gone all the time, I couldn't get that from him, but I was dating somebody else who was able to give that to me, but they weren't able to give me the words of affirmation. So
crazy.
So at the time I was getting the things that I wanted, but not from the same person. So
so you had two in one. If you just would have meshed the two together, it would be perfect. And that's the thing. That's the thing too. I feel like people always, when it comes to like finding their bae or like dating someone, you always have like a list that you want to check off, right? Of the things that we want, that we don't. And it's funny because, with B. Simone, that was why she went viral. So she went viral, for those who don't know, because this video of her, excuse me, whoa, that's Carmelo that just came out right now.
So that's me every episode. Every episode I have to have some water nearby because all of a sudden some homeboy want to show up and I'm like, hey, chill out. My demons want to show up and I'm like, hey,
who is this monster? So funny because I just seen, oh my gosh, what is it? I can't even think. I know it was like a TikTok or a video on Instagram, but I don't know if you saw it. And it was like someone, it was a so this was on TikTok. It was a newscaster. You were going through like different subjects, but real quick, it was so funny because it was a newscaster and like her voice was changing. I'm going to find this video and put it in.
En Far, Texas, elementos policíacos capturaron a un mexicano que conducía un tráiler cargado de metanfetaminas, drogas altamente adictivas y dañinas que procedían de Reynosa, Tamaulipas. Phil Barrera, perdón. Disculpen ustedes. Phil Barrera, decía yo, vocero de aduanas y protección fronteriza de Estados Unidos, dijo que casi 100 kilos de metanfetaminas estaban escondidas que ya se fue. Perdonen ustedes.
But I'm like, it's so fucked up, man. We can't even fuck up when we're live.
Right.
I talk a lot. Like literally, I talk all day. When I'm on the radio, I'm talking. When I'm off the radio, I got kids, I got family, I'm talking. And then we're doing this. So it's like, I'm talking all fucking day.
Yeah.
So
I think there was a point in time where like you literally had to take a break because your voice was like going out, right?
I did vocal therapy.
And see, that happened to me when I used to work for Toyota. So Toyota headquarters at the time was going through a lot of basically they had like this huge lawsuit, and long story short, we had to answer phones like 10 hours a day. And by the end of the day, I would be so tired and my voice would be raspy. And like you said, you still have to go home, you still have to talk to your kids, and you still have to, it was a lot. I remember it was a lot on my voice. So
it is. I had to do vocal therapy where literally I didn't even know that was a thing. I went in, they had told me that I could literally lose my voice. They're like, you could, if this is your moneymaker, you have to give yourself a break. And I'm like, I do. They're like, no, meaning even when you're home, you're not talking. And then I learned about the voice tones where you talk. We don't realize it, but like when you're on the phone call, like, you know, when you call someone like the kid's school, you're like, hey, this is Mrs. blah, 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 blah. Yeah. We change our voice. We don't realize we're doing that, but we actually do it on a daily basis. Like even if you and I are having a conversation, I'm like, girl, let me tell you. And it gets to the deep and then it gets to the light. Most of us, when we're normal talking, we use our voice like a little bit higher than normal.
Right.
But we have to practice to like keep it at a certain level. And I'm like, oh shit. And then when they did the they put the camera down my throat. Oh my goodness, it was so embarrassing. I couldn't stop gagging. And I was like, okay, this is really embarrassing. And luckily it was a girl. She was like, I was like, well, at least you know I don't suck dick all the time. And she's like, oh my God. She was like so embarrassed, like, oh my God, stop. And, like I could tell it was making her feel uncomfortable, but I was like, this is embarrassing. Like I can't stop gagging. And she's like, it's okay. It happens often. I was like, does it happen this much? Because I am really like, every time she would put it in, she's like, okay, breathe. And I'm like, fuck, so embarrassing. And you know what was even more embarrassing? That I know I can literally see steps like the people like crossing the hallway. And I'm like, that's so embarrassing. They're probably hearing me like, this bitch cannot keep it together. I was like, and she's like, okay, quiet. She's like, here we go. We're going to go in. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, dude, what's wrong with me? I hate it. And thank God there was no cameras, so that I know of. There was no cameras. But like at least I learned. I'm like, okay, one, I gotta fucking work on my gag reflex. That's one. And two, like, bitch, really like get it together. So I ended up taking a break. I was gone for 2 weeks and I couldn't talk. I had to practice on how to keep my voice leveled. And finally I regained my voice. And actually since then, since I had the vocal therapy, I did it for like a couple months. I learned how to not overly use my vocal cords when I'm on the radio. So then it just ended up working out for the best. But now, do you remember when I first started, my voice was like high pitch like this? Like, you don't remember? You probably don't.
I remember. No,
I got a chance to listen to my first air check and I sounded like a fucking chipmunk. I'm like, what is this? And then you
were so young though. You were so, oh no, I absolutely do. Especially because like even right now I just did. So, you know, it does tend to change your voice. So that, and then, you know, a lot of talking, obviously over time, your vocal cords do get damaged. So little known fact about me, I grew up singing in choir. So by the
way, don't just go over that. She literally, I always forget to bring this shit up. She could sing, and a bitch will only sing if she's drinking.
So it's something that I'm like super shy about, right? Like I'm super shy about it, but I do love to sing. So they teach you when you're in choir, like how to take care of your voice, you know, how to like things to avoid, and, you know, screaming is one of them. And girl, you know, I love to scream. So of course, you know, that's damaged my cords, and just, you know, talking a lot.
One of these days I'm going to capture her singing and I'm going to fucking post it on our Insta page, because it's funny. The way we were in Hollywood. Yeah, we were in Hollywood somewhere. And then I remember we were already tipsy. We were in the parking lot getting to our designated place. And then we're singing, and then like, and we're jokingly singing, by the way. You know, you got that friend that always wants to out sing you. So none of us knew Angie could sing, and we were like singing, and then she starts like singing off, and we're like, like, bitch, is that you? And you're like, stop. I mean, thank you. But yeah. And then we're like, what the fuck? You know how to sing? Like, she legit can sing. Yeah. I forget that about you, because you like never have done it.
I've never, not publicly. So, other than like choir, you know, when you're a kid. And then actually I was singing in like college too. So anyway, but yeah, all of that to say that you do have to take care of your vocal cords, especially if you're someone like us that talks a lot. So
speaking of vocal cords, what did we do? Remember I sent you a video, and it was like a fun fact about vocal cords. Oh, that our dentist can know if we suck dick. By the way,
Yeah, I get this question a lot, and yeah, we know. How do we know? If I go into details, I think TikTok will censor it, but if this blows up, part 2, this. Okay, here we go. Palatal Patikia. This is what it's called. If you like, let's say, sucking on a lollipop, 1 or 2 here or there, not a big deal. But let's say you like to suck on multiple lollipops all the time, you got a problem. It's going to cause palatal patikia, which is seen right here. As you can see, bruising of the soft palate and irritation right there. And guys, if you have braces, all I can say is, yikes.
The first thing I text Andrew was like, so my dentist knows? My dentist knows my fucking past? And she was like, no way. She was like, oh my God, no fucking way.